Governor Polis says the state's focus right now is to get seniors vaccinated. His goal is to have 70% of people 70 and older vaccinated by the end of February. So joining me now is CBS 4 medical editor Dr. Dave Hnida. And Dr. Dave, some people in our own newsroom have been wondering, once their parents get vaccinated, does that mean it's now safe to see them without having to worry?
A lot of people talking about this subject right now. And really, when you look at it, you can break it down into two scenarios. You can talk about an adult child who has been immunized, as well as their parent, a senior citizen who has been immunized. And if both have received two vaccine regimen, both have waited satisfactory time in order to allow that immunity to really kick in, generally the risk is much, much lower than if just one of the two had been vaccinated. And then you look at another scenario where, let's say you have a child, a grandchild, who wants to get together with a grandparent who has been vaccinated. Well, in this case, it's a little bit riskier. And the reason for that is the child obviously has not been immunized, even though the grandparent has. And so when you really only have one party that has been immunized, the risk does wind up remaining for there to be a potential problem. The things that you need to keep in mind under any scenario, any combination of people getting together, is that the vaccine is not 100% effective. It is considered to be at its best 95% effective at preventing severe COVID. And so that really is kind of a key thing, is remembering that nothing is 100% perfect. The other thing to keep in mind is that we do worry about the ability of someone, even if they've been immunized, to spread the virus if they are exposed to someone. Now, they themselves may not get sick, but we are not sure whether the vaccine actually will help a person rid the virus from their nose and throat, and they may actually carry that and transmit it. And you may say, well, why might that be? It's just the way infectious disease works. It works that way for influenza. It works that way for the common cold. Some people may get sick with it, but yet others may not, and others may wind up transmitting the infections without having issues themselves. So I think at this point in time, the message still remains, until we get herd immunity, we really do get community immunity in this situation. We still need to really understand that we need to continue with masking, social distancing, good hygiene, and all of the stuff we've been talking about for these months.
Great information. And we talk a lot about the importance of wearing masks and how effective different masks can be, but what about wearing two masks? Does that offer twice the protection?
It has actually been going around for a while, and it has been backed up by research that two masks, in fact, are better than one. And specifically, we're saying that two masks may actually equal the equivalent protection that you would get from, say, an N95 mask, which is considered to be pretty much the best mask that there is, short of a complete respirator type of unit. And the thinking is that if you wear two surgical type masks, that gives you good protection, better protection, up to that N95 type of protection. Or even if you wear a surgical mask and then wear a cloth mask over that, that does give you that extra layer of protection that gives you the equivalency of being at an N95. And the reason for that is you do wind up getting more filtration of viral particles. It becomes more of an obstacle course for a viral particle to make its way from the air where you were exposed actually into your nose and throat, making its way into your lungs. Now, certainly you might say, well, how about three masks? Is that even better? You have to keep in mind that you do need to breathe, and certainly this is not a situation where you want an airtight situation. You couldn't breathe. But we do believe that actually two masks are more effective. And if you note, there are many people who are doing this and have been doing it for some time. If you watch any of the football games, there is a subtlety to what many of the football coaches are doing here as we go through playoffs. they are, in fact, double masking. Many healthcare workers are double masking if they don't have access to N95. Joe Biden has been double masking for many months now. And I have to tell you, even in my own family, when we have outside contact, as limited as it may be, we double mask. So the question is it effective? The answer is yes, and it's something that you may want to consider.
Yeah, I have seen quite a few people doing that, so it's very interesting to hear that it does work. Will we continue to hear more about cases of the new strain of coronavirus here in Colorado? So, Dr. Dave, what can you tell us about how this new strain is affecting children?
That is a big question right now that we've got some concerns over, because we just simply are not exactly sure what this is going to wind up being when it comes to children. We do believe that the new mutated strain is going to be the dominant strain in the United States by the time that we hit March. That means most people who are infected are in fact infected with this mutated strain. Now, the latest information just within the past week to come out of the UK in terms of contagiousness, it does confirm that yes, it is more contagious, but does not necessarily cause more severe disease. And that same tends to be the case for children, as they looked at more than 20,000 exposures and cases. Children, younger children specifically, not older children, but younger children specifically, are about carrying the potential about half of the contagiousness as an adult or older child with this new variant or strain of virus. So that's a little bit reassuring, considering the fact that even though cases of severe COVID are low in children, the possibility still exists. I think the burden here really does remain on adults, because we are the ones who can really mitigate a lot of disease here by adhering to the guidelines that we've been talking about for so long. And we really would be more concerned about protecting our children and each other rather than really being afraid that the children are going to affect us.
Very interesting. Well, Dr. Dave, thank you so much for all this important information. We'll see you back here next Monday at 11 a.m. as we answer more coronavirus questions. And to see all of our Q&A with Dr. Dave segments, you can visit cbsdenver.com. We'll be right back.